Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Pablo Torre. And the main reason why I do want to speak about this player is because he is soon going to be a Barcelona player starting in the summer of 2022, which will be in a couple of months. And so if you guys do not know who Pablo Torre is, he is a 19-year-old attacking midfielder, also playing as a central midfielder sometimes with Racing Santander. And he has shown so much chaos on the pitch. He has shown so much noise on the pitch. And the reason why I'm describing it like this is because of one reason. This guy here, he is the real deal. He is someone that does want to be a great midfielder in a few years. Like, you can just tell, right? His intentions, what he wants to be, how badly he wants to be on the assist sheet, how badly he wants to be on the score sheet. This guy here does give it his all every time he does step foot on the pitch. And that is why Barcelona are going to be bringing him in into the next season. But before we go into any of this, I do want to speak about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app, it is the best football app that you could find within the App Store when it does come to what you want to find out regarding a specific player, how a team is doing within the league, if you want to find out the current stats and numbers when it comes to the league in general, whether it's the Premier League, La Liga, the French League, all of that information is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. And you can also read some articles that they do have within the app when it comes to a specific game. There's so much information, so much free information, as a matter of fact, within the OneFootball app. It's a very reliable app, entertaining app, and if you do want to download the OneFootball app, you can so by scanning the QR code that you do see here on the screen using your camera that's on your phone, or if not, there's also going to be a link that will be provided down below on the pinned comment or in the description box. You can click that link, it'll take you straight to the App Store. Then you can download the OneFootball app, and then after that, you can set exactly who you do want to follow. Again, you guys will not be disappointed, you guys will love it. And I also do want to shout out the OneFootball app for supporting a content creator. But now, let's get back into the video. And now look, 48 hours ago, yes, Pablo Torre did score a hat-trick, and that was a moment, my friends, where many were saying, so this is the type of player that is going to be coming to Barcelona next season. Like, what a way for Barcelona to go for this player. Like, I have no idea how Barcelona found out about this player, but you just analyze his game, you understand who he is, you can say that yes, this is the type of player that would join Barcelona. He's very similar to someone like Pedri, he is very similar to someone like Gavi, and there is enough data for us to know exactly why Barcelona brought in this player and why Barcelona do believe he can be playing right next to Pedri and Gavi. And that is what we are going to be doing within this video, is that I am going to be comparing what Pablo Torre gives compared to Pedri and compared to Gavi. And just to give you guys a quick overview on who this player is, he is someone who is very technical on the ball, his mobility is great, his 1v1s when it comes to dribbling is also great, his close ball control, he does have it, his fast direction when shifting in possession is also very great. He knows how to dictate tempo because of his good vision. His passing ability is great in all distances, and he just has that natural technique within him when it comes to creating that build-up process with the team. This is something that Barcelona is going to highly benefit from, and obviously because of that, he is also extremely useful in combinational and counter-attacking styles. And so this is going to be the first graph that I am going to be showing you guys when it comes to comparing Pablo Torre to someone like Pedri and Gavi. This is like the general view. You can look at the age, the position that these players do play in. You can also see the amount of minutes that Pablo Torre has played compared to Pedri and Gavi. Of course, Gavi did play more minutes than these two players, and for different reasons. Pedri, he was injured, and when it comes to Pablo Torre, he does not play in the exact same amount of competitions like someone like Gavi, and so of course he is going to be having the least amount compared to Pedri and Gavi. Now let's go into greater detail when it comes to comparing these three players, and we are going to get very specific. Let's talk about the attacking side of this whole thing. And the first thing that we do have to call out is going to be this: Pablo Torre does kill in this area. He kills Pedri and Gavi when it comes to the attacking side. This is one of the reasons on why Xavi Hernandez does want this player in, and why Mateo Alemán and Jordi Cruyff did scout for this player. He leads the attack. His directness is what gives him all of these great numbers. Just look at how he does have much more green boxes compared to Pedri and Gavi. You can just tell based off these numbers that he does need more volume on the pitch. Of course, Pedri does convert his chances way better than Pablo Torre. Like, for example, Pedri is more like, okay, should I take this chance for it to convert very well? If not, let me just pass it to the side. Pedri is more of a careful player. He does not necessarily always want to be very direct. If the directness does not need to happen, Pedri will not do it. And obviously, this is why Pedri is being called as one of the most reliable players on the pitch. But when it comes to Pablo Torre says, okay, I see a chance and I'm going to be taking it. I don't care if it seems like I have a 20% chance of going direct and winning the ball and going through these players. I'm just going to be taking it. And this is why many do say that Pablo Torre is more of a aggressive type of player, more direct. He likes the dribbling, right? He likes to take on players. It's just the type of game that Pablo Torre does like to enjoy the most. Now, here's what gets very interesting, right? Because we know that Pablo does like to take his chances way more than someone like Pedri. Could we see Xavi Hernandez say, hey, can you minimize this? We do not want to lose the ball in ridiculous areas because this is what we did see last season. Xavi may say, look, the last thing that we want to see is for Barcelona to get counterattacked because you, right, Pablo, you lose the ball in these areas and we cannot allow that. Or Xavi could say, express yourself, do what you gotta do. If you want to go direct, if you want to go 100% forward all the time in every game, do it. Because if that's your game, express yourself, because if that does happen, we are going to get the best from you. So I hope something like that does happen. I want Pablo Torre to really test his own game in the first division, because if that does happen, even if he does lose the ball, his IQ is very high. Like, he can draw a foul and always have the possession. Now let's move on towards the passing chart. When it comes to comparing these three players, you can just clearly see, right, we don't even have to look at all of these numbers and all of these stats. You can just clearly see that Pedri is the most decisive player when it comes to making those passes into the final third. His conversion rate is higher. His ability to make more final third passes than Pablo Torre is way higher, as a matter of fact. And you can just see that the overall quality of the creator, it is Pedri. Like I have said in the previous graph, Pedri is much more of a careful player. When he makes that final third pass, he wants to make sure that it is 100% going to be done. Pablo Torre, again, like I've said, he is someone that does want to take his chances, even though it may seem like he is not going to make it. He just wants to do it. He is someone that's very daring. But also, another thing that I want to point out is that Pablo, when it comes to his assist and his goals, you just cannot ignore his numbers. He is a true 10. He's a true attacking midfielder. Like I've said, looking at these numbers and how he does play, I'm very eager to know. Like, I really want to know how he's going to be converting his game once he does play for the first team. Like, I know that he is going to be going into Barcelona B first. I do believe that Xavi Hernandez will be calling up this player because he is simply good enough to be in the first division. And so he is very different from the rest. Yes, there are weaknesses within this player's profile. Like, for example, his aerial duels. He is not good when it comes to aerial duels. Pedri is really good. You can see that he is the clear winner on that. Gavi is better than Pablo Torre when it comes to aerial duels. And so there is some things that he does need to work on. And I do want to make one final note when it comes to this player. Xavi Hernandez likes to have his interiors extremely high. It does give them more chances to contribute into the attack and to bring these assists. These are the positions and the areas that Xavi Hernandez wanted his players to be in within this season. Like with Frankie, with Gavi, for Pedri, they were sitting much more higher on the pitch compared to how they were under Ronald Koeman. And he wants these players to be positioned always to be ready to press, which is why we see these three players extremely high. Pablo Torre is the definition of that. And I do believe that this is where Pablo Torre can really blossom. And I'm going to be showing you guys some videos so you guys can see exactly what I am talking about. Just look at how, when it comes to pressing the players, the defensive line, this is where he does stand out the best. These are the videos where I did pick out the best pressing moments from him within the past 5 recent games. Does this not remind you of what Pedri does on the pitch? Does this not remind you of what Gavi, Frankie, and Nico also do on the pitch? It's just how Xavi likes to set the roles within these players. Pablo Torre, this does come very natural to him. His off the ball movement is extremely intense. It's very great. It's very Gavi-like. And you guys know how Gavi does play. He's very intense, hyperactive. He gives no chance towards the defensive line to get out their own area. When they want to distribute a ball into the midfield, Gavi gives the defensive line no chance. Pablo Torre is exactly that. So he is a true Barcelona player and a true Barca player that Xavi Hernandez wants within his version of this club. Again, like I've said, I do believe that he will be brought into the first division eventually. And if you guys are questioning, but Kevin, I know that you are bringing out all of these stats. I understand that he is a great player, but can he even bring this into the first division and in the highest level of football? Because maybe he may not. But the one thing that I would say is going to be this. Pedri was in the exact same position about 2 years ago. He was playing for Las Palmas in the second division, and many were questioning, can Pedri bring this exact same performance and these numbers into the first division? And look at what Pedri is today. He is a world-class player, one of the best players in the world, and is what makes Barcelona Barcelona, the Barcelona that we see today. We need Pedri on the field, and the same thing could go on with someone like Pablo Torre if he is being taught right. I do have my faith on Xavi Hernandez that he will teach this player the fundamentals on what it is like to be a Barcelona player, and especially within the midfield, and we'll just see how things go on from there. I would like to see a midfield of Busquets, Pedri, and Pablo Torre throughout the season. Next season, maybe we could see a midfield of Busquets, Frankie, and Pablo Torre, Pablo, Gavi, Busquets, Frankie, Pedri, Pablo. There are many things, many ways that we could go when it comes to this midfield, but one thing is for sure, he will be a player that will be considered as a necessity under Xavi's Barcelona.